It is now my wonderful pleasure to bring Sheena up. Is college worth it? Thank you very much.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
When I was in high school, I was excited to go to college. To me, college meant options, and options meant I didn't have to work at one job or in one career field for the rest of my life, all because I didn't have a degree to get in the door somewhere else. See, growing up, I knew all too well what that looked like. From parents or family members who struggled to switch jobs as they got older, to my grandmother who worked in factories all her life, I saw how she would come home tired and exhausted, how the work was wear and tear on her body, and how she couldn't relax unless she had a drink. It was in those moments that I would feel angry and heartbroken, knowing that tomorrow she had to do it all over again. She had to give her all to a company with no benefits, no vacation days to work, and for retirement, all she had was the little she paid into Social Security. To know that that company would just cast her to the side. So I knew exactly what college meant for me, and I was determined to graduate. Now, being the first in my family to attend college, there are a few things I didn't know. When I called up one school, whose tuition was about $25,000 at the time, I said, is this tuition for 1 year or all 4 years? Because you only gave me about $8,000 and I don't know how I'm gonna pay the rest. The lady kindly told me, she said, no ma'am, this tuition is for 1 year. It may increase next year, but you can easily take out a student loan to pay off that balance. Now my mom was a stickler for not getting into debt, so I knew I had to choose another option. And because I had good grades and a decent ACT score, that's when I went over to North Carolina Central University. Not only was I offered more money, but the first and second semester I only had to pay $120 because I had an air conditioning unit in my room. Now, as you all know, of course it wasn't easy selling from that point. My junior year, they came to me and told me that I was no longer able to get work study. I said, well, why not? And they said, because you're upperclassmen. But what he didn't know was that he would see my face every day. Yes, I was there until they found some funds available. How many of you have had a similar experience? You send your child to college or you go to school, the first 2 years they get more money, then they begin to take that money back those last 2 years, tell you to figure it out, right? Well, what I've seen and what I've worked with people, what I've seen is that a lot of people are excited to send their child to college, but they know very little about what it takes to be successful to graduate, as well as do it with little to no debt. So I always get the question, is college even worth it? Is it worth it? I mean, with student loan debt at $1.3 trillion, the average for 2016 at $37,000, should I even consider sending my child to college? Is it worth it anymore? And when they ask those questions, I say 3 things. First, college helps create discipline. Discipline for students to get up and go to class on time, set their schedules to study, set their schedules to complete team projects, set their schedules in general with just overall time management. So in college, teaches students discipline with how to become a responsible adult. When I was in school, I went to a historically Black university. I was in a marching band, I played for a sorority, I was in the accounting club, I was in the honors program, and I worked a job. So college taught me discipline with how to prioritize what's important, what needs to get done first, but as well as with time management. How was I going to be able to leave band practice, which at a HBCU, we do a lot with the band. So leave band practice and then get up in the morning and go to class and do everything on time. So it taught me discipline. The next thing is drive. College teaches students drive to own their accomplishments. If they say they want to go to school and graduate, they got to do the work. When I was in school, I had to be proactive to go to the counselors to see what classes I need to take or look at the course curriculum. When is the best time to take the class? If I had an issue with a professor, it was now my responsibility to talk to that professor and say, hey, what's going on? How can you help me here? How can I improve my grade? That became my responsibility. In K through 12 or grade school, the parents take most of that responsibility. They choose the school. They pick you up from soccer practice. They get you a tutor if you need one, if you have a problem with the teacher. Oh, the parents up there. The parents figure it out for you. All the child has to do is show up. But the parents handle all that for the child. When they get to college, now they begin to transition to see, how is the best way to talk to my teacher? How is the best way to approach this situation? Is there another strategy for me? How can I be resourceful? They have to do that for themselves, and that helps them to grow into being a responsible citizen in our country. The next thing is design. In the U.S., we value skilled workers. And with a college degree, it's likely that you'll have a higher probability of job stability, as well as income and higher income. It also allows you to connect more with people who may have similar interests if you decide to go into entrepreneurship. As you all have heard countless of stories of how people go to college, they meet some friends, they decide to open up a business. I mean, look at Facebook. He didn't graduate, but he met the people in college, and they opened up Facebook. You can look at a lot of people, Sean Puff Daddy Combs and Issa Rae. And it's a lot of people that have gone to college, met people, and then began to open up their own business. As well as, it just helps you overall with your connections. A lot of schools are beginning to give out grants even for entrepreneurship programs. So to start startup companies, they're actually giving grants to schools and giving grants to students who want to do that. Now, I know on the flip side, you may say, well, all that sounds great and everything, but college doesn't guarantee that you're going to get a job when you graduate. It doesn't even guarantee that your child is going to like what they went to school for. We all heard the horror stories of student loan debt and the financial burden that it's causing on people. So do you think that it's still worth it? And I said to them, well, first you have to know that this is your child, or you're the one deciding to go to college. So you may not need to adapt the same strategy that your parents had 20 and 30 years ago. Today is a new day. We can't think about college like we once did back then. You have to adopt a prudent lifestyle, and maybe you need to leverage your debt to return on investment to see how we can make college work for you in your life after school. You may also want to be proactive in planning. Don't wait till the last minute. If you know you want to go to college, how about plan about before you get to high school so that you can be more successful? So yes, I do think the college is worth it. I think the college is worth it because it helps you to develop your discipline, your drive, and it creates a better opportunity for the design for your life. With that being said, I'll call back to the lector, Mr. Toastmaster.